What is up, Grace students? I want to welcome you guys to our podcast, the Youth Pastors Apocalypse Podcast. Not a serious name, kind of a goofy name because you guys like goofy and we're goofy. But before we get to that, I have a few announcements that I want to get to. Number one, announcements for the winners of our giveaways. Okay, everyone, drum roll please for our meme review winner. Our winner is Ethan Brandt with the hamster Logan meme. So if you guys haven't seen that, I'll put a picture up right here. Boop. And now for our next giveaway. By the way, Ethan, you've won a $10 gift card to DoorDash. So DoorDash is a really cool app that lets you order food to your home. Perfect for the lock-in. Now, finally, we are going to do a little spinner. See if that gets in focus right there. We're gonna do a little spinner with all you guys' names in it for those of you who did the feedback for our sermon review. So let's spin this wheel and find out who wins, huh? The wheel's spinning, okay. Dun, 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 okay. It landed on Christy. I'm not sure if that's fair. I buy her coffee all the time. So let's spin again. Spinning. Hey, Courtney Pinkerton. She did awesome. She not only commented once, but she commented several times. So Courtney, congratulations. You get your choice of a Starbucks or a Fiddler's gift card. Thank you for commenting. We're gonna do more giveaways like this, but outside of that, it would be awesome if you guys comment on our content anyway. We wanna know what you think about it. And we want you guys to be engaging the Word of God and to be wrestling with what God is saying to you. So please sit back and relax and enjoy the next 40 or so minutes of me and Stetson chatting it up. Love you guys. And we are live.
All right.
Welcome to the Youth Pastors Apocalypse Podcast. After much blood, sweat, and tears, this thing is finally going down. It's for real, y'all. Okay. I'm here with my guest, or not my guest. Well, I guess we're both co-guests.
That's right.
Stetson McElhaney. That's how you say your last name, right?
It's actually McElhaney.
McElhaney.
You gotta say the A because A is silent. It makes a lot of sense.
Okay, say the A. Stetson McElhaney. So Stetson, I've got some get to know you questions. Is that cool?
All right.
So, how old are you?
I am 29 years old.
Oh, dang. He's only 4 years older than me. And you're coming on the big 3-0.
I am on the fast track to 30. I turned 30 in October.
How many late 20 injuries have you had?
Late 20 injuries. I think my only late 20 injury has been 2 of them, car accident.
Oof.
But got a Dodge Charger out of that, so that's kind of like the car accident I'm totally fine with.
Moral of the story, if you want a nice car, let someone crash into you.
Yes. Yes.
Just as long as you don't care about your body.
Just drive the streets of Centralia when it's raining and someone will hit you. That's all you gotta do. Just keep driving and at some point someone's gonna not run a stop sign. So.
But if you're in Centralia, there's a good chance they won't have insurance, so...
Yeah, I got lucky. Yeah, it's like a lottery. It's either gonna cost you like $500 or like, yeah. So and then recently fell off a hoverboard hanging out at some friend's house and had to have my wrist reconstructed. So
I just love that so much. Like, how'd you get injured? I was on a hoverboard. That's such a bummer, but at the same time, like, you get to actually say you've rid a hoverboard.
I can say I wouldn't even call it I rode a hoverboard. I shook violently back and forth, kind of like if that was at like a weird spiritual revival, and then it kicked me off, and then a plate and 7 screws later, I have somewhat of a wrist back together right now.
Dude, okay, so what's the recovery time on the wrist before you have full range of motion?
12 months, and I'm losing 35% permanently.
Okay. That is a bummer. Permanently, you've lost 35%.
Yeah.
Like, bending it backwards?
Can't do it.
No more handstands for Stetson.
I can feel, like, the limit of the screws keeping it from going further back.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. So sorry.
Theater of the minds. Just imagine my right wrist cannot go back very far.
it does not sound fun.
2020 is off to a hot start.
No bueno.
This is the year of Toby Flenderson.
No! God, no! Dude, if Toby Flenderson wrote the universe, he wrote 2020.
He sure did.
You know what's so funny? This all started with Kobe Bryant, and I think people... Is that like the first bad thing that happened in 2020, Kobe Bryant passing?
I think culturally, yes.
Okay.
I mean, my wrist happened before Kobe Bryant, but that's just me being selfish. I think Kobe. Yeah, I think Kobe died, and then about a month later, COVID-19 just says, "What up? I'm in your neighborhoods."
Well, I feel like there's something else that happened. I mean, the presidential elections are always pretty stressful for people.
Oh, it's an election year. That's right. So we've had a lot of candidates drop off and all that. So it's been a really confusing time.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can't remember if there's any tragedies that's happened between Kobe and COVID-19.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's funny because everyone, it's so funny. New Year's, everyone's like, the new year, new me, it's going to be an awesome year. So, I mean, maybe I'm just really selfish like you, but my 2020 has been awesome so far. I've gotten engaged, did a winter camp with the youth group. That's been super good. I don't know. Life is just feeling good for me.
Life is good. If you're Andrew Adams, life is very good right now.
I got a trip to Yosemite National Park. That was legit. Yeah, I don't know. But overall, I mean, COVID-19 kind of blows, Talking to the students, everyone's bummed. Yeah, if you're listening to this, you're probably a little bit bummed. So funny, we did, I don't know if you've noticed anything from Facebook Living or Zoom, but I had so many students who were just like, oh my gosh, it's so good to see everyone. This was just what I needed. And it's so funny because I think we take FaceTime and technology for granted. We're just like, oh, it's so, like, we hear so much of the opposition, like it's just so bad, but it's really cool to see it shining and kind of like being a tool, as it should be, used during this calamity. Have you noticed that at all?
Yeah, I've noticed that a little bit. A lot of my students we have such a variety of students right now in my ministry right now.
Yeah.
Where some of them are, but I have a lot of introverts.
Ooh.
If I was looking at a lot of my youth ministry, the majority of them are introverts, and the extroverts don't connect on technology. So it's kind of like I'm trying to be the encourager, saying, hey, we need to see each other. You guys are introverted. You guys are enjoying this. Like, we need to get together.
And you're an extrovert, right? I'm
an extrovert, Enneagram 7, that has a hidden introvert inside of him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, I know a lot of youth pastors or students are loving it. It's a weird adjustment for my youth group.
Yeah.
Like, on Wednesday night, I had 4 students knocking on the door of the church trying to go in during youth group live. And I'm like, guys, get on Facebook. And they're like, we're on Facebook. We're watching it, but we want to come in the building. I'm like, you can't. That's why we're Facebook Live. And they finished youth group outside of the building on the other side of the wall. It was like, it was so funny, and I knew they were doing it on purpose because one of the moms was like apologizing profusely because she didn't know her son had gotten out.
Dude, that's so fun. I think I saw that in the comments of your Facebook Live. Like, could we just come in there? And literally, as I read that comment, I got angry for you. I was imagining my students doing that, and I was like, oh my gosh.
They crashed, 3 of them. That was Angel. And Angel, if you're listening, that was you. I know it was you.
Dude, call out.
And then 2 others showed up and were trying to crash our youth group live. But they can't do it this week because it's from my house. And none of them know where I live, so... Dude,
that's hilarious.
Oh, it is.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know about you. Are you experiencing tech fatigue right now?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's weird, too, because, as I'm using the technology, I'm like, man, I don't want to be using it. For example, this morning, I was trying to get my Bible time in, right? And, I'd start reading a few sentences, and I'd be like, oh, I wonder if someone's responded to this post on Instagram. I should probably check. And as I'm picking up my phone, no, I hate it. Why am I even doing that? And it's
like, even, it's weird because I experience the fatigue as I'm using it, but like even when it's down, I still want to go to it and like see what's going on, but I like don't want to at the same time do it. Like, it's just weird how it robs you of being present. So.
Yeah, it's weird because I was doing really good last week, and then this week, this is my second day working from home and doing Youth Group Live on Facebook, and it seems like every youth pastor on the internet wants to connect via Zoom.
Yeah.
So in the Facebook groups, everyone's like, let's Zoom. And so I've done, between like youth ministry and church staff meetings, a ridiculous amount of Zoom calls or FaceTime. And this afternoon, I was like, I need to do something else because I've been staring at a screen for too long. And it's bad habits because, let's be honest, last night I ended my work day and I turned the TV on. And I caught up on my shows. And because yesterday was my first day without my brace, I played PlayStation for the first time in 2 months. But then I woke up today just feeling like drained. It's like, because all I'm doing is staring at a screen.
Yeah, I feel that. I've never really used the screen time functions on my phone. They have them now for the new update on the MacBook Pros. Just
I know,
FYI.
they're really good at shaming you.
I definitely need to use it just because, like, I think it's such a, like, again, like, managing people, staying up to date with people, such a good tool. But, like, when you're not, that's the thing that no one talks about. That's the backdraw of the tool, is it calls out to you when you're not using it. Like most of us, if we're like, okay, I'm going to go use this drill to like hang up some pictures, you use the drill, you hang up the pictures, and you walk away and you don't think about the drill until the next time you need to use it. Yep. But for Facebook, Instagram, like the moment you set it down, you're thinking of like, I wonder if someone's replied to me. I wonder if students are engaging.
Yep. Oh, straight up. It's like every 5 minutes I could have a reason to pick up my phone. And so that's the struggle right now. So what I'm learning right now is like, because how much I do is online, trying to find rest and recovery from the tech fatigue is so important right now.
Oh, so good. Yeah, we probably need to institute that. Me and my fiance have been talking about like when we do get married. Me and Stetson have talked about this, but there's this book called The Hell of the Hustle by Jefferson Bethke. Super good book. And he talks about his family's rules, him, his wife Alyssa, and I think they've got 2 kids.
3.
They got 3 kids. Fake fan. I don't even know. And they like don't use their phones in their rooms. They have a certain time limit where they like turn their phones off and turn them back on. And they use like old school alarms. I actually bought myself an old school alarm, but I haven't I use the clock function, but I don't use the alarm function. So I just need to start doing that.
Yeah, I'm like, I love technology, and so it's hard for me to like create healthy boundaries, and so it's a struggle for me. It's like, I need to actually do that. I need to create healthy boundaries with technology to make sure that it works. Yeah. I say that as in someone who just bought an Apple Watch this morning. So I added to my,
Dude.
I added to another thing on my wrist that can keep me distracted. But a lot of it comes down to just, are you willing to do it? And I think today, for me personally, today was the first day where it's like, the scales tip too much, because normally I have enough in-person communication to make it work, but now everything is not everything is either you're running somewhere and you see someone at a coffee shop and they run out, they give you your item, they scan your card and they run out like you have the plague. So then it's like you go back online and so I got to do something to curb that.
Have you heard of companion devices?
No.
So, do you remember Palm Pilot?
Yes.
So some of you guys might be too young to remember this, but
your parents definitely had one.
When smartphones were new, the biggest one was BlackBerry, and the second biggest was Palm Pilot. And so, ever since the iPhone, both those companies kind of died. I mean, they still make phones, but they've been quiet for years. But this last year, Palm Pilot released a phone called the Palm, and it looks like a mini iPhone. It's probably the size of your iPhone, but it's like this big, and it just does texting, calling, and calendar. And it's like not meant to replace your phone, but it's like what you use when, like, it links to your phone number, and it's like what you use when you want to break from your phone. It's really interesting.
I like that.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I haven't checked it out yet. It just seems like everything's getting bigger and bigger. With more. I mean, LG just released a phone yesterday that has 3 screens. It's got a screen on the outside, and then you fold it like a sandwich, and it's got 2 like 10-inch screens, and like everything's going to more screens. And I like the minimalist approach of Palm trying to stay relevant, saying, "Hey, we're going to be the phone for those that just need a break."
Yeah, those are 2 interesting like sides of like, I don't know, pop culture right now. It's bigger and better, and then the opposing side, healthier. Yeah. And I think for like millennials and like some Gen Zers, like the older Gen Zers, they're like leaning towards, okay, what's healthier, what's more environmentally friendly, what's like gonna be more sustainable in the long run. But if I'm just honest, sometimes healthier just isn't as fun.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Dude, that new iPad Pro, oh my gosh, talk about a big screen.
Talk about a sweet case. It's like, did you just see the case? How it hovers over the keyboard. Yeah. It can lock at any angle.
So cool.
So I went to look at how much it would cost to order that, because the case works with last year's iPad Pro. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, all right, $600. You gotta factor in for a computer thing. That's $600 for last year's iPad Pro. Do you know how much that case cost?
How much?
$350.
Oh my gosh.
That case costs more than my iPad.
Dude, it better be frickin' OtterBox case.
like straight up, like it is the Apple with the trackpad that hovers and locks in. It's a $350 case. So I think I'm gonna be officially out on the new iPad. But I was like very interested in it, and it happened to be the same day that announced we'd be getting these like government economic stimulus checks.
Oh my gosh! But, they just want people to waste their stimulus checks on something they don't need.
Straight up. So, but my economic stimulus check will be going to my wrist and not a iPad Pro.
Oh, dude! On that note, let's continue. I'll ask you a few goofy questions.
All right.
You can ask me them back, since I guess both of our students will be watching this. Okay, goofy questions. If your last week was an ice cream flavor, what flavor would it be and why?
Ooh.
This is my favorite question that I like to ask my junior hires. Because junior hires like ice cream.
It would be waffle cone.
Waffle cone ice cream. I've never had that.
So waffle cone ice cream is vanilla ice cream base with caramel swirl all over it.
Ooh.
With chocolate chips and chunks of actual waffle cone in it.
So does that mean you had a really good week last week?
I'm just saying that's my favorite ice cream. Like, I'm just like, I'm just saying like that was my last like. That's it right there.
Does that reflect the quality of your week last week though?
Oh, that's a good question. Is that supposed to okay, maybe I got the question wrong.
Not your favorite ice cream flavor, but what ice cream flavor reflects last week?
Oh, pistachio, because pistachio is a weird flavor.
Okay.
That people sometimes enjoy, but I kind of despise.
Dude, I'm one of those freaks. I like pistachio.
So for me, it would be pistachio, because it was an effective week. Like, it was just of like learning technology to make student ministry work, but I hate the taste of pistachio, and that also reflects the fact that like I can like getting together people is next to impossible. Yeah, I was supposed to be an opening day for the Mariners yesterday, and that got there's a lot of social things and trips that have been now canceled that I was supposed to do 3 now. And so that's why it's like, yeah, it happened, it worked, but did I really enjoy it? No. So
that's a big sad.
Yeah, so pistachio. So what about you?
Dude, not to keep talking about technology, but my last week would have been vanilla. Ooh. And this is why. This is why I also don't like being on screens a ton. Unfortunate side effect for me is I think my memory degrades the more that I'm on a screen. I just don't remember a ton. And so looking back at last week, I was just on screens, editing, chatting, texting, creating content, which are all good things, but they're not really memorable, you know?
Absolutely. So it's like you had the ice cream, but you will not remember that moment.
Exactly. I'm just like, oh yeah, I had vanilla. It's good.
And it's okay to keep talking about technology because everyone knows that's the world that we live in now.
Yeah. Dude, that's a big oof. Okay, we're gonna prepare a game, so I think we'll save that for next week. So let's talk about our next topic for students to latch onto. What are some hobbies that we can take up as, you know, not just people, but like Christians that are trying to grow and be healthy? What are some hobbies that we can take up during the quarantine?
Well, that's a good question right there.
Yeah.
I think one of the most important things, in my opinion, that you can do, and I've seen this happen in several groups and several leaders have done this, is to create a bucket list.
Ooh.
So, and I mean take a sheet of butcher paper or a big poster, go to Walmart, social distance at Walmart, go back with one of those big poster boards and write your name. This is Andrew's bucket list. And in your time, because you're going to be home right now, Washington, Oregon, Idaho's out of school till the end of April, so you have over a month right now. What are you going to do in that time? What are things you can accomplish? What are things you want to accomplish? Maybe it's I want to do this painting. I want to clean my closet. I want to build an app. What are the things that you actually want to do, and you turn that into purpose?
Yeah.
Giving intention to your time.
Dude, that's cool.
Rather than just going, oh, it's another day out of school. Gonna watch Days of Our Lives because it's the only thing on television right now.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Yeah, I'm so jealous of my fiance. I was Marco Poloing her today to talk about technology again. She's painting all day today, and I was like, oh my gosh, I am so jealous of you. You know, actually, I do remember at first when this quarantine thing started, I was kind of jazzed because one of my passions is like photography, and it's like, cool, I get to work with cameras. But you know what I realized? I only like working with cameras when there's other people involved and I'm outside. So I'm literally by myself shooting videos of myself indoors.
Yep.
Such a bummer.
Yep.
But yeah,
super lame.
I think that's such good advice. Man, make a bucket list. Okay, so what's at the top of your quarantine bucket list right now?
So the top of my quarantine bucket list is to organize my laptop.
Ooh.
I have a work and a home computer, and between them, my files are just jumbled all over the place. So
yeah, you're kind of setting up your office space right now, your workflow at home, right?
Yep, because I'm working for home for at least 2 weeks. It sounds like it's probably going to be longer based on what we heard yesterday. But yeah, so organizing my computer, and for me too is I want to learn how to code.
Ooh.
So I'm utilizing technology, free courses, and I want to learn how to code and build an app.
Dude, that's awesome.
Whether I can get to it or not, because honestly, so much of my time is devoted to ministry right now.
Yeah.
Online ministry takes.
Dude, it takes time.
Twice as much effort to make online ministry work, and so learning code is the top, but maybe what I should say at the top of my list is just I got 3 books I want to read.
Okay.
And so if I can read these 3 books, I will feel better I will feel better and more peaceful because I'm trying to read those books. So actually I'm going to put that as my top.
Dude, I'm right there with you. What books are they?
The first one is Strengthening the Soul of Your Leadership.
Okay.
The next one is
that sounds good.
Atomic Habits by James Clear, which is a book that everyone needs to read if you want to learn what it means to build healthy habits.
That sounds really good. Atomic Habits.
And then the third one is, I'm trying to remember my third one is right now. Adoptive Youth Ministry by Chap Clark, which is like an academic textbook on what does it look like for the church to be an adoptive model of youth ministry.
Dude, that's good. That's really good. The 3 books I'm reading right now are Hearing God by Nathan Finocchio. Super interesting book. It's cool because he's like, man, he's such a millennial. So he like writes how he talks. So that's kind of fun. He just like reading the book would just be like listening to a conversation between me and you. He's not like this super lofty theologian, but at the same time, he's got some master's degrees. He's a teaching pastor at Hillsong. It's a really good book. Yeah. Like even my middle schoolers could read it. I'm having my student leaders go through it right now. It's so good. And then one that I just started is The Day the Revolution Began by N.T. Wright. Have you read it?
Yes.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it's super interesting. What I've realized is at any point in time, I need to be reading a book about the gospel.
Yep.
Or like Jesus in some capacity, just to like be sharpening myself, just bringing myself to Jesus, like mentally, intellectually.
And N.T. Wright is that kind of person.
Dude,
He writes at such an intellectual level, and I feel like The Day the Revolution Began is even toned down.
Oh, really?
From where his writings have been before in the past.
Dang.
Yeah. So it's N.T. Wright. I have to take in chapter by chapter, but that is a fantastic book to read before Easter.
Yeah. If you like the Bible Project at all, then you would love N.T. Wright. Basically, he's like. He's one of those teachers who really inspired Tim Mackey and John Collins. So a lot of their theology and thoughts are N.T. Wright thoughts. Have you listened to their podcast? Super good podcast.
To the Bible Project podcast as much as I can.
Yeah.
In doses, I'll hit it super hard in super doses. In certain times, trying to get.
Oh yeah.
As much down as I can during downtime.
Yeah. Man, that's something that I just need to like cut out a lot of the technology that I'm using right now in my free time and just go analog. Just stick to those books. If there's one thing I'm notoriously bad at, it's taking a long time to get through a book. Big same.
What's your third book?
My third book is Godspeed by Brent Merrick. I think I've got it on the second copy over here. Yeah. It's a really good book. It's about missions, or it's really about missional living, but in your community. And so what's actually got me thinking about that, like I've read it before, but I was like, man, I need to go back and read this. He opens the book with a story about a guy in his church who just had this vision from the Lord to basically take donations for sleeping bags and hand them out to all the homeless people in his area. And kind of what got me thinking about that was like all the elderly people during the quarantine who just like need help, you know? And I was like, man, how can we serve because like, I think part of being missional obviously is being evangelistic, sharing the story of Jesus, but then also living out the story of Jesus and serving people. And it's like, I really need to like start getting creative about serving people in the community. So that's kind of what spurred on me reading that book again.
Absolutely. And that's really important because I just feel like technology turns us into narcissists.
Oh.
And we're in a world where all we're doing currently right now is just looking at TV screens or phones, the internet. So the ability to forget about the world outside of us is very possible.
Dude.
Especially for teenagers and young adults. So that's a great book to read for just a challenge to stay engaged in a community around you, even when it might not. You might not be able to engage like physically.
Yeah, that's so good. Dude, you know what I just thought of? Another hobby that I want to take up during the quarantine, and I know you'll get jazzed about this, is roasting coffee.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
But here's the bummer part. I don't know if you've ordered anything from Amazon lately. The deliveries are out like a month and a half.
Yes, I just tried to order a case from an Apple Watch in tempered glass, and the case arrives Monday. The tempered glass arrives May 1st. So
what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point? I canceled the order. So yeah, no, absolutely. So what are you trying to order for coffee roasting right now?
Just beans. I haven't ordered anything yet, but I was just thinking about it. Okay, if I'm gonna roast some coffee, I'm gonna need beans, obviously, and then the associate pastor here, he's got me the coffee hookup. There's this website called Sweet Maria's, and you can just order coffee from there.
So are they backed up then, or can you order from Sweet Maria's?
I don't know. I'm wondering, because if Amazon's backed up, I'm wondering if everyone else is too. You know?
Oh.
Yeah.
So so the question is, how are you gonna roast?
Dude, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Oh well, I don't have anything fancy. I would just do the quick and dirty. You just grab a cast iron skillet. You get your what's that? I don't know cooking things. It's one of these guys.
A wisp?
A whisk. A whisk.
A whisk,
Yeah.
okay.
Praise God, I'm getting married. The Lord knows I need a wife. And so you get your little whisk guy, and that's basically all you need.
Just turn it.
Yeah, and then one of those mesh half bowls that you would like do popcorn in.
Yep.
And one of those. That's all you really need.
Have you thought about doing the air popper method?
No, I've seen people do that though. That is kind of interesting.
I know people that very effectively do it with the air popper method.
Yeah, that's the thing about like at home roasting. It's hard to get it consistent. So if that's consistent, dude,
yeah,
I'll look into that.
I think we need an actual roaster at some point.
Oof. Yeah, that's the thing. If you try and go light with an at home roast, then you're gonna get some beans that are like really sour. But if you go dark, you're not really going to notice it as much because like you've got those dark notes will cover up those lighter beans. So you kind of have to pick your poison there.
My hope is to tag on coffee roasting because if for everyone to know, Andrew and I could talk for 10 hours about coffee. I do plan on owning a roaster at some point this year, probably around November.
Ooh.
I do plan on my 30th birthday being somewhat around receiving a coffee roaster.
That's legit.
So, well, I'll keep you updated.
That's awesome. Do you think your wife will get that for you, or are you gonna get it for yourself?
I think it's gonna be a combined effort on that one, but I do have plans on getting a coffee roaster this fall at some point.
Okay.
For a hobby.
Dude, that's legit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, but
I think $300, right?
400.
400, dude.
It's you gotta save for it, but you think about it, like if there's income opportunities with it.
Totally.
Like you could sell beans at farmers market and pay off, $13 bucks a bag.
Mm-hmm.
You could, pay off your roaster in a couple months. So it's
there you go.
But it's cool. Coffee roasting. So you want to get into coffee roasting?
Dude, yeah, coffee roasting would be sick.
Absolutely.
I drink so much coffee, and yeah, I think I already brew so much coffee. Yeah, different brew methods. That's just the next level.
Absolutely. So
yeah.
What's your cup count at today? How many cups of coffee have you had?
Oh man, so I had 2 this morning. I had 2 from an AeroPress. I actually had a cup of tea when I came in today.
Oh.
So 2 cups, 1 tea, and then when Stetson met me, I'm ashamed to say, but I had a cup of Jack in the Box coffee.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to cast no judgment on that. I was going to let you self-incriminate yourself.
I have a good reason. I don't know if you guys... Well, first of all, there's a Jack in the Box right next to the church. And so I was there because I needed a quick chicken sandwich, and I was like, okay, here's where I'm going to get some food. And they just did this new thing called Jack's Boosted Coffee. And I was like, I want to try it. So far, I don't feel any boost, so...
I'll say I did have my own version of fast food coffee the other day.
Oh, yeah?
I'll confess my sins to the public right now. So I went to Wendy's for breakfast.
Oof.
And Wendy's has this new thing called a Frospuccino.
Oh, my goodness.
And they take cold brew coffee, which I don't know how Wendy's... No offense if you work for Wendy's, but I don't know if you even know how to make cold brew coffee. Like, I didn't see a toddy in there or
do you even know?
like that. It probably comes in a bottle.
Bro, do you even brew?
Yeah, exactly. So they put cold brew, and then they mix in Frosty mix with it.
Oh.
And let me tell you what, not like
that kind of sounds good.
Not like Frosty, but like the liquid Frosty mix. So it's like creamer, and it was really good.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that. That kind of sounds good.
I haven't had a chocolate one, but the vanilla Frosty mix with that was really good. So.
Dude, big yum.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some pro tips for students during the quarantine? How to like live their best quarantine, not be bored, not be depressed. I took a student survey recently, and I saw that most of my students were bored, lonely, and fearful. So some pro tips for living in quarantine. You had a really good one just the other day when we just kind of thought of some talking topics.
Pro tips for living in quarantine. You might have to remind me of that one.
Get dressed at the beginning.
Oh
of the day.
yeah. Create a schedule. Create a schedule.
Yeah.
And live your day as a scheduled day. So the first thing you do in the morning is to wake up, take a shower.
Yeah.
Put some gel in your hair if you don't want to shower, whatever you gotta do. And then put clothes on.
Yeah.
Eat breakfast.
Don't stay in your pajamas.
Don't stay in your pajamas. Actually wear jeans. Don't wear gym shorts. Act like you're dressed for the day, because if you put clothes on, you're mentally preparing yourself like this is a normal day. Because what you want to do is you want to live your life in a way that this is somewhat normal, even though it's completely not normal. So make a schedule, get dressed every day, and that I think those two things are important right now.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think?
Yeah. I think so. I learned this trick a while ago, and it's a trick. So I learned this when I worked back at Fiddler's, and I'd have to wake up super early. So for an open, you have to be there like anywhere from 3 to 4, depending which opener you are. So you have to get in bed by like 9 o'clock. And so I am biologically a night owl, so that's really hard for me. And so outside of like taking a crap ton of melatonin, I had to start working out during the day. And then honestly, it's awful, but you just have to shock yourself. You just have to force yourself to get up for those first few days, and to make yourself tired at night. But so what you do is you come up with a morning routine, and you put something in your morning routine that you'll be excited to do. And so for me, brewing coffee is multifaceted, because I get really stoked about the process of brewing it and then tasting it. And so it serves as something exciting for me in the morning, something that actually wakes me up with the caffeine, and something that's like you have to be involved in. So it wakes me up mentally too. And so like just taking that principle. Good. Yeah, I think in your schedule out for a variety of things that you like to do each day. Like tonight, me and Christy, my fiance, we're gonna watch La La Land. I don't know why. I used it as an illustration in one of my sermons recently, and even before that, for some reason, you know how in youth group culture, some things just get popular.
Oh, absolutely.
For some reason, our youth group is just stoked about La La Land right now. Have you seen that movie?
I have not seen La La Land.
Okay.
But I will.
Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone. It's great.
No one's going to know where I'm going with this right now. In the 2000s, in the 90s and early 2000s, we had a power love couple, and that was Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. Those two were the perfect duo.
Is that You Got Mail?
About Sleepless in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle.
And You Got Mail, amongst others. So those two.
Oh my god.
But, as they got older, kind of lost relevance in the 2000s, they have been replaced by Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. That is the love duo power couple of my era, the millennials.
I agree. I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. As soon as you said Meg Ryan, I knew Christy she's gonna get so stoked to listen to this segment.
I'm probably gonna watch You've Got Mail tonight.
Do it.
It's on Amazon Prime Video. I watched that legitimately a lot.
Do it. Yeah, that one's pretty good. What's the one with...
So tonight you're watching... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, we're going to watch La La Land tonight. So that's something exciting in my schedule that I get to look forward to. So just scheduling things like that. Like on Saturday, we're going to go on a walk. And I haven't had a ton of physical exercise lately. So I'm super jazzed about that. And so I think, when you're younger, life just kind of happens to you and you're fine with that. And at some point, whether you get kicked out or you move out, you realize praying that you guys all have the joy of moving out voluntarily.
Yeah, absolutely. You voluntarily move out.
At some point, you realize that you have autonomy and you can control your life to an extent. But I think you guys can even control your life to an extent now. And it might be stressful because, like, as a kid, you can't really just, like, plan things. Your parents have veto power, so you have to run your plans by them.
Straight up.
But, like, your parents aren't jerks for the most part. Like, if you're, like, they understand that you guys are bored out of your minds and you have, like, homework to do and stuff. So, create some plans. Even if it involves your parents, like, sit down and watch a movie together, play some music together, pray together, have a Bible study, have a story time or something. Just get creative and do something that you guys all like. Christy FaceTimed one of the youth girls today, and they painted together. They did watercolor.
Oh yeah!
How cool is that?
I've seen lots of videos of like people building Legos together.
Oh yeah!
Like, their kids will get together, and they're all building the same set, and they're building a Lego set. Like that is social media. Social media is a great tool for.
Dude.
Something like that.
I want to figure out how to play Catan with other people right now. Settlers of Catan. Have you played that game?
I'm addicted to it.
Oh my god.
Why haven't we played yet?
I don't know. We need to figure that out. Okay, so speaking of youth group culture, so I feel like I kind of introduced that game to my youth group, right? And everyone was super stoked on it for a while. And then everyone started to hate it. And it's because a few people would always win and the same people would always lose.
Yeah. That's why my wife hates it.
If you're not competitive, like if you're an Enneagram 2 or an Enneagram 9, you're probably not going to like Settlers of Catan. But if you've got a wing 3, or if you're a 7 or an 8, somewhere in there, you're probably going to like Catan. Maybe even a 5, because you like the strategy of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think 8s... I think Catan was built for 8. I think, honestly, if you just look at the strength of Enneagram 8, like, they are just all about strategic, like...
hoarding resources.
Like, everything. Like an Enneagram 8 is... all about Catan, and the 8s and the 7s always battle each other.
Oh my gosh.
And the 1s and the 7s always battle each other at Catan, and it's so much fun.
Dude, yes.
Well, there is a way. Do you have an iPad?
So yeah.
So we could play others on the Catan app. We could play.
I thought of that, and I was like, I just want to figure out how to do more analog things, or at least have an analog aspect.
Monopoly would be hard, but you can play like Life. Because you're just controlling, like, the cars, and you can do that. I saw where my brother and his wife, and then my best friend and his wife, were playing Pandemic.
Ooh.
And so my brother, they set a FaceTime camera up on them, and then they put a Zoom camera, a phone with Zoom, over the board. And then my friend Edwin had his board empty, so they knew the location.
Oh, that's cool.
And then... my brother Remington and his wife managed the board, so they played Pandemic from Idaho to California that way.
Dude, that's crazy. That is so crazy.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work. It's twice as hard, but it is a way. Catan would be very difficult to play without using an app mobilely.
Oh yeah, it'd be so difficult. It would be tough. Yeah.
But you know what? Play board games with your that might be a great activity to do it at home. Play board games. You know, something I did growing up was we played a lot of Risk.
Oh.
I like to, not to flex anything, but I do want to say like I'm one of the top 5 Risk players in the world. But
weird flex, but okay.
I've played probably over 1,000 games of Risk
in
my life and won a lot of them. But hey, weird flex. But hey, no. So what we did was we created the infinite board of Risk, and we put together 6 different variations of Risk boards, and we created a unified system to make it all work. So we had Risk, the American Risk, we had the old Risk, we had the Lord of the Rings Risk. With the Star Wars, with the Star Trek.
Dude, Star Wars Risk. That's the one that I had.
With the 2020, and we built this monster Risk board that literally was like, could not fit in this office. And we played it, and it was really fun because we had to create all sorts of different rules to make what happens at Middle Earth? Well, if you have Middle Earth and Hoth, what is that? It was, and then we played for like 3 days, and then my best friend's dog ran across it and ruined it all.
No.
But what was fun about that was it was abstract, because when students are in school, you spend so much time being concrete.
Yeah.
Everything has an answer. Everything has a solution. So right now, play a board game. Make up some rules. Have fun.
Yeah.
Read a fiction book. Fiction book is a great way that's how I discovered the Hunger Games. Was in the middle of college. I was super it was my junior year, and I was super zapped. And I had a friend say, you should read a fiction book over spring break. And I read all 3 Hunger Games.
Dude.
It was before the movies. It was just for me, it was oh, this is not nonfiction. This makes my brain think differently. I was all about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I need to get more into fiction. I just started listening to the audibles of Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, okay, so we have some limited time. We got to get Stetson home to see his baby tonight. Let's end on who said it. Justin Bieber or Jeremiah?
Bomb, bomb, bomb. So what I'm going to do is this is a game for you. So this game is really simple, and this is really fun. Play it at home. This is either going to be the prophet Jeremiah, who was a prophet from God, had a lot of big things to say, or it was spoken from the Biebs.
Oh,
so,
the Biebster.
And not to throw down too much of a hot take, you need to shave that mustache, Justin Bieber, because it is not working for you.
Dude.
I saw that SNL.
The dirty stash.
I saw that SNL performance, and I was like, yikes. So that's all simple. Is all I'm gonna say is who said it, right? So, you ready?
I'm ready.
I need to see your face. I need to look in your eyes through the storm and through the clouds.
Ooh. Justin Bieber.
That is the Biebs. That is correct. So tell me why am I in tears?
Ooh. Jeremiah.
That's the Biebs.
Oh!
Do not believe them, although they may say nice things to you.
Ooh. Is this is message version, Jeremiah, isn't it?
I honestly do not know which is the message version.
I'm going to say it's message version.
Message, all right, Jeremiah,
yeah.
Jeremiah, yep. All right. Every day I bring the sun around and sweep away the clouds.
Ooh, Jeremiah.
That is the Biebs.
Dang it!
From his song,
kind of blasphemous, Justin.
I know, right?
I just need somebody to love.
All right. Do not believe them, although they may say nice things to you. Oh, did we read that one already?
I think we did.
Yes, we did. All right. Oh, sorry, I lost my place. My heart is broken within me. All my bones tremble.
Ooh, Jeremiah.
That is Jeremiah, correct.
That's a famous one.
That is. I know that there is good times beyond that pain.
Biebster.
Do you know what song?
Oof, I have no idea. I'm not a huge Bieber fan. I like him, I appreciate him, but
I know
I'm not.
some students, if they're listening, are like, it's from his song Pray, because it's from his song Pray.
Okay.
I put my all into your hands. Here's my soul to keep.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh man, that's tricky. I put my all into your hands. My soul is yours to keep. I'm gonna say Biebster.
That is the Biebster from the song Purpose.
Dude, that was a tricky one.
Alright, sometimes the heart can be deceiving.
Oh, Jeremiah.
Justin Bieber.
No!
From the song The Feeling.
Dude, these are good. These are good steps.
Why do you cry out over your wound? Your pain that has no cure.
Oh, Jeremiah.
That is Jeremiah. That is a very dark.
Yeah.
Alright, and then final one. You are my comforter in sorrow.
Jeremiah.
That is Jeremiah. That was that is Jeremiah or Justin.
Okay, that was good.
That was.
Was I 5 for 7? Were there 7 questions?
Yeah, 7 questions.
I think I was 5 for 7. Maybe
That
it
was
was 4
good.
for 7. Yeah.
That was good.
That was a tough one.
That was. It's always fun to see the tie-in pop star lyrics with like
Yeah.
Testament.
Oh, that's good. Man, we need to do some more of those. What do you think, students? Should we do more next week?
Please let us know.
Who said it? Taylor Swift or Satan? Just kidding.
That one, you know what? I don't know. Her last album was pretty pretty violent. If you look at the lyrics, like she was talking about like cutting people up and all sorts of things. So I mean, Tay-Tay went a little dark on Reputation.
T-Sway. Bad reputation.
Bad reputation, So I don't know. So they might be able to do that one.
That would be good. Okay, and then to close us out, did we have any reports of heroes throughout the quarantine?
You know what? We have plenty of reports of heroes from the quarantine that I can think about. You know what I'm going to go with is I'm going to go not local. I'm going to go with Fanatics.
Ooh, okay.
Do you know who Fanatics the corporation is?
No, I've never heard of them.
So if you need sports gear, they're the biggest supplier of sports gear.
Okay.
So Nike owns them.
Oh, okay.
And so they make all the uniforms.
Yeah.
So if I order a fan jersey, a Denver Bronco jersey, it's going to have a Nike logo on it, but Fanatics made it.
Okay.
So I can order college, NFL, baseball, all sorts of different things. And heroes go to Fanatics because they are turning all of their baseball jerseys, because they make the jerseys for the MLB that the players actually wear, and they're converting them into medical masks and donating them. So you got these cool looking
that's
masks
actually so cool.
that are made that look like a baseball jersey because it's a fabric.
That's neat.
So I would say that, and then I am gonna give a shout out locally.
Ooh.
I got 2, so I'm gonna give a shout out. I'm gonna give a shout out to a local distillery company.
Okay.
In Tenino.
Oh, for making hand sanitizer?
For making hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
So every first responder and state patrol police agency in Lewis County and Thurston County has been supplied with hand sanitizer.
That's really cool.
This company, this distillery, and they don't turn anyone away. If you need hand sanitizer, they will give you a bottle of it, and then they'll refill anytime you need it. You just walk up to their distillery, and this guy and his wife are doing it. So
that's really neat.
That's what I think about, like, heroes of the time. Heroes of the time are companies or people that are doing extraordinary things that either cause a loss in what they're doing, or they, or taking advantage of it. And those are the 2 things, because hand sanitizer is hard to find. So distilleries are doing a great job, and there's distilleries across the nation doing it. But it was cool to turn on King 5 News and see that they were talking about that.
Yeah, see that they're helping people out. That's really sweet. I love that. I love that a lot. Dude, well, that's awesome. Yeah, I think we'll close it. We'll close with one more thing. I'll ask you one more question, Stetson. What is God teaching you right now during quarantine?
What is God teaching me? I think that today was the lesson I learned that God's teaching me, is that I'm spending too much of my time in life is around technology, and that I need to find ways to connect God without technology.
That's good.
The Head and the Heart, my favorite band, have a song called Let's Be Still.
Ooh.
And the idea is to silence the world around you to focus on what's happening. And for me, like, that's what I need to learn. That, and I need to take better care of my health, because I can't rely on gyms and things to stay open, to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Healthy decisions start with myself first.
Yeah, that's huge. Dude, that's awesome.
What about you?
Man, I think right now the Lord is just teaching me the value of hearing His voice early in the morning, and seeking Him throughout the day. Not just even for myself, I think, because I'll even just be like, something that I thought of early on was like, man, how can we like add more humor and like lightness to brighten students' days through like social media? And I think that's good, and we should definitely do that. But I've even been like, man, I need to like be praying for students and like asking them, hey, where are you at with Jesus? How can we like be seeking Jesus together? And so like basically just like quickening the presence of God to our here and now, I think is really big. So I think Jesus has just been reminding me of that over and over. Like, how can I seek the presence of God in the here and now? And also, first and foremost, just early in the morning before I do anything, just like really cementing that. Does that make sense? Yeah.
I don't know what if on a normal morning, what is the first thing you do when your alarm goes off?
Oh, dude. Grab phone, check notifications.
Guilty as charged.
Ooh.
And I'm going to try this week not to do that.
Dude.
So I'm going to turn my alarm off, and I'm going to, I don't know, I'm going to go probably try to go 10 minutes, like 10 minutes before I check my phone.
That's good.
Because right now, work communications on my phone, everything's on my phone right now.
Ooh.
So that's my challenge. That's what I'm going to do this week.
That's awesome. I'm going to try and use screen time settings. I'll take that challenge with you, and I'll use screen time settings and turn off social media until like 10 a.m.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So that'll just give me time to like read the word. Man, oh yeah, it's so important too. Like, I mean, you don't have to deal with this because you just roll over and you're like, what's up, babe? But it's a big deal for me to text my fiance in the morning. Because it's so funny. You can even forget to do that in the midst of like being super busy, you know?
Absolutely. I spent when my wife and I were dating, our first summer dating, we were apart for 3 months. And we didn't have cell phone service for most, because she was a camp rep for my college. So her job in the summertime was to go from camp to camp to camp. So it means you have cell phone for 1 day, maybe a day and a half a week of cell phone service. Mm-hmm. And I was in New Mexico working for a church, and we didn't communicate very good for 3 months. Oof. And it was hard, you know, and it was hard to stay present in that time because of that. So I think that what you're saying is a great example of your and Chrissy's relationship, is saying, hey, I need to text her, say, hey, good morning, you know, because if you don't, sometimes it's 1 o'clock and it's like, oh, I have someone else I need to check on that's more important than the work that I'm doing.
Yeah.
No offense, students.
Yeah. No offense, but your women's comes first.
That's right.
Yeah, got to have a healthy marriage before you can have a healthy ministry.
That's right.
Right, well, on that note, I'll pray us out, and then we'll call it a podcast.
All right, what a start.
Yeah, Jesus, thank you so much for Stetson. Thank you for technology, and thank you even just for helping us just to find the good applications for these tools, and just speaking to us in times of duress, times of stress and busyness. We just pray that you would help us to use our time wisely, to stay healthy and not get sick, and to use the time that we have to seek you, Jesus. Like Stetson said, we've got limited time here on this earth, and we just need to use it to the best of our abilities. And we can't rely on other people or other systems to fix it for us, but we have to be disciplined. And so we just ask that you'd make us disciplined people, Jesus, and it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening to the Youth Pastors Apocalypse podcast. I think we'll be doing these tri-weekly, bi-weekly.
Yeah, we'll put one out soon. We'll put one out soon. We'll put another one out.
We'll do another one. I can promise you that.
And we know how to set this up now, so we'll be way faster.
It literally took us an hour to set up.
Oh, yeah.
Much love. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.